cut way up high. Get yourself a lawyer, son. You're gonna need a real good one.
He is here, David Whiting, taking your calls, your talkback lawyer, 1300 222 774. I think it was Al Pacino in Godfather 3 who said, I don't need more tough guys, I need more lawyers. So we've got one for you. Hello, David.
Hello, Justin. I'm very impressed. Yep.
Well, because
we always need more lawyers. Yep.
Absolutely, and tough guys. So with you, we've got two rolled into one.
Right, okay.
Now, you were away last week.
I was.
You haven't been well. Are you all right?
I had COVID for a week.
Oh,
Diagnosed on the Monday. Thought that I won't infect the ABC, so didn't come on the Tuesday.
Thank you, and the ABC thanks you.
Stayed away for the week.
The ABC is appreciative. Do you, now we always check in, you didn't have any homework left over from last time?
Yep.
1300 222 774. Are you comfortable? You're relaxed.
I'm relaxed.
You're ready.
Ready to go.
Julian Assange has had his fill of lawyers, but he still needs one more, I would suggest, as he makes his way out, and is possibly
I've heard the story,
and has been pleading guilty. So he just only needs maybe one more lawyer, and then he's probably done with it. How many do you think he's talked to over the years?
Oh, thousands.
I would think so. In Warrnambool, Gilles is on the phone. Hello, Gilles.
Hello, Justin. Hello, David.
Hello, Gilles.
Okay, our problem is we got a drive at number 7 of our street, which is about 40 metres.
Sorry, I get a bit cautious. Let's see how the call goes, Gilles, but I'm a little bit worried when you get really specific about you might be making an accusation against the neighbour or something.
Oh, no accusations at all.
Yes.
Number 5 Number 5's property runs along that drive.
Yes.
Yeah. The drive has a slope, and at the bottom of the drive, the retaining wall on number 7 is about 1 meter high.
Yes.
And it's leaning towards the drive about 7% or 7 degrees. Who is responsible for the repair should that retaining wall give in?
My view, Gilles, is it depends upon who did the dig. So to me, it's a question of who changed the natural surface, whose predecessor in title changed the natural surface of the land. So if I live next door to you and I dug a driveway, then I'm responsible for making sure that your soil doesn't come onto my property, right? On the other hand, if you simply decided that you would like to redo your backyard and build it up by a metre, that's your responsibility and it's up to you to keep it off my property. So you need to look at historically what's the natural surface of the level of the surface of the land, who changed it, and the person who owns the land where the level was changed is the person who in the first instance is responsible for the change.
Wow.
All right. That's disappointing, is it? You're telling me? Yeah.
No,
yes.
No, not disappointing, but it's
good. To me, it's quite logical. If you dig a hole, you're responsible for stopping things falling in it. If you build a hill, you're responsible for it not falling over.
That's the simplicity of it, Jill. Thank you very much. Peter's in Windsor. Hello, Peter.
Oh, good day, Justin and David. Thank you very much. My brother and I are joint executors of our mother's will, that is jointly and severally, and about 18 months ago...
Not jointly and severally, jointly, yeah.
Just jointly, is it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. You can do certain things severally, but as a general proposition, it's a role you hold jointly.
Thank you. About 18 months before she passed, my brother transferred $165,000 of her funds to another bank account without her knowledge.
Was the account in her name?
That I don't know, and he's not revealing.
Was he your mother's attorney at the time?
He was the power of attorney, correct.
Right. Then you are entitled... There's a process at VCAT which doesn't get used very often, but you're entitled to go to VCAT and say, I've got this suspicious transaction. That was done at a time when my brother was my mother's attorney, and if I need a proper explanation for it to understand why it was done and what the consequences were, because otherwise my mother's estate would be $160,000 bigger than it is today.
Yeah.
So it's an application to VCAT as a beneficiary of the will, calling upon the power of attorney to give full and proper accounting of the course of the work done by the attorney.
Right, excellent. Because he's now saying that the total in the mother's bank account is, wait for it, $200 only. And he's
you mean in that bank account?
Of her total bank accounts, yeah.
Well, have you got probate?
No, because he hasn't, agreed to any of this. He's putting a gun to my head and saying, you can have, well, he's saying 20,000, but you've got to sign an indemnity form. And I'm saying, hang on.
You're both executors. Why would you? How long ago did your mum die? This year or last year?
Last year, August.
And you know where the will is?
Yep.
Why would you not make an application for a grant of probate with leave reserved to him and come in and prove the will at any time? That is, try and start the process on your own.
Yeah, because it's below the threshold that you have to apply for probate.
Yes.
Yeah.
Then do the VCAT application, Peter.
Yeah, okay.
All
Great.
right.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Peter, thanks very much for calling in. Sam is in Sunbury. Hello, Sam.
Hello.
Sam, are you there? Go right ahead.
Yes, good morning. Our local shopping centre supermarket has repainted the parking bays in their car park.
And they've got more cars in now, have they?
They are significantly smaller.
Yes.
Yes.
Is that shorter or narrower?
Do I have to park within the narrower? Yeah. Do I have to park within the bay?
Oh, what a great question.
I would have thought in Sunbury there'd be more SUVs than anything else, wouldn't there,
There's
Sam?
SUVs everywhere, isn't
Yeah.
there?
Sam, the answer will be like life, it depends. As a general proposition, most supermarket car parks are managed by councils because councils have the ability to issue parking tickets and shopping centre managers don't. So if it is managed by council, yes, you have an obligation to park in the space.
Sam, can I ask you though? Do you fit into the car parking space?
Well, the problem is it's very difficult to get in and out of a vehicle if there are cars parked on either side of you because the space is so narrow.
Okay. So what do you want to do? Do you want to just shove it up the middle there and take up a couple? Is that your plan?
Well, what is that's basically
that's
what
not
I'm
parking.
Can I get away with it?
Well, that's not parking in a defined space, and you might get a ticket from Hume Council.
Yeah,
you might not, but you might.
Okay, Sam. Okay. Thank you very much. That's an odd one though. If you decide, hey, we want to put more cars in, and they make it just a little bit too small, and people can't get out.
There is a standard size for a car park. Okay. Why would you not go to? There will be. I would have thought the shopping centre will have a planning permit that will set out how many car parks are required, and you might make a complaint to council that they're too narrow because they're policing them.
Do things like that change? Because I mean, cars are a hell of a lot bigger than they used to be. And you said that there is a defined size for a car parking space.
There's a standard size for a car park.
Do things like that change? And how often do they change?
I've not seen them change, although we went through a period where cars got smaller, where the standard car moved from a sort of a Fairlane model to something smaller. Then everybody fitted better. But, as you go around town, you see vehicles that in no way will fit in a standard car park.
Yeah. There will be people screaming at their radios right now at Sam saying, just park in the between the lines.
Volunteering, are they?
Yeah, that's maybe. Gary from Brighton. Hello, Gary.
I just wanted to ask a question. I've got trees all the way down my backyard, and it's autumn time, and I'm on both sides. And when autumn comes, the leaves fall. And when they fall in my backyard, I've got 2 green bins full every week.
Of someone else's leaves or your leaves, Greg?
No, it's been blown into my backyard. It's funny how...
you got the prevailing wind from both sides?
Yes, I do.
Very lucky.
Thank you. Can I throw them back over the fence?
Yes, you can. Just make sure you throw the right ones to the right side.
Okay, all right.
All right. Let's hope you know what the trees are right.
Yeah, Gary, how do you think your neighbours are going to respond if you hurl the leaves back over the fence?
Well, I don't know. We'll find out.
Yes, you will. You might have a discussion with them, but really, yes, they're their leaves. You can put them back over the fence.
Because I feel a Hatfields and McCoy kind of situation going on here when you chuck it over and then they decide they're going to throw over
something else
on the other side. Yes. And you must have seen some neighbourhood disputes that have got out of hand very quickly.
But what you try and do, Justin, is you just sort of I find is, well, give me some money and we'll see where this goes. At which stage most people lose a fair chunk of their interest.
Okay. We have... then you can just get a lawyer then when it all goes to hell. If you've got a legal question for some non-binding legal advice from David Whiting, there's still some lines free, 1300 222 774. And Megan from Blackburn is on the phone. Hello, Megan.
Hi.
Hello.
Go right ahead, Megan. You've got a lawyer listening.
We've got a body corporate issue. We're 6 units on 2 blocks of land. The current
sorry, can we stop there just for a moment, Megan? Is that 2 owners corporations or 1?
1.
Okay, so you've got 6 units on a large block of land.
Yeah, 235 to 237.
Yeah, but it's currently 1 block of land that once upon a time had 2 street numbers. Because every now and then you find that there are 2 owners corporations that abut one another and share some open space, but not technically. Okay, far away. 6 units.
So 6 units. So our issue is that in 2 of the units, one of them is owned by the father and the other one is owned by the adult son.
Yes.
They also are the chairman and the secretary of the owners corporation, and they just do whatever they want. We're currently having an issue with... We agreed that we'd put up a front security fence because we live on a main road.
Yes.
And we have had some undesirable people coming into our properties and things like that. So we agreed on the configuration and the cost of the gate. The gate hasn't been configured the way we had agreed. And now to cover up his mistakes, he's like, you'll all have to pay a bit more. And so then he's gone to the gate company and said, well, I want to make these changes, which is about $2,500 more, split by the 6 of us. And so I'm saying, no, I'm sorry, but you can't just spend money without having a meeting. And at that meeting, we all should get to vote. But they just refused to have a meeting. And then on the weekend before last, I was trying to force him, as were the other residents, to have a meeting.
Yes, but not all the other residents. Otherwise, you'd have a meeting.
No, just the two.
You've got four members. You've got Megan, who's keen. You've got 3 apathetic, and you've got the chairman and the secretary. Is that about right?
Correct.
Oh, that's the problem. You're living in a community where people don't hold the same views that you do.
Well, no, that the other 3. So there's 3 people that hold the same view.
But
one
they're
lady
not prepared to stand up and be counted, Megan.
They are, and we had it. So
then hold the meeting, and perhaps appoint someone to run the owners' corporation, other than this person.
Megan, thank you very much for the call. Sarah's on the phone from Heidelberg with a question for David. Hello, Sarah. Sarah,
good morning.
You there?
Hello.
Yes, good morning,
Go right
Justin
ahead.
and David. Good morning, David. I just have a question regarding getting a gravestone placed on a plot of land. My father-in-law died 12 months ago. His daughter would now like a gravestone on that plot. My husband's power of attorney, and he said that's fine.
Powers of attorney for a person who's died doesn't count.
Was power of attorney, yes.
Yes.
And, still looks after his mother's power of attorney, sorry.
Yep.
Now she's still alive in a nursing home. So got a plan for what he'd like, something quite modest.
So he being your husband?
Yes.
Okay, yes.
And he also has a brother. His brother has said that, first of all, none of his mother's money was to be used for this purpose. Now, he has a say in it because there's a cemetery trust that needs to be signed.
So, Sarah, the rules are these, and they've changed fairly recently, right?
They have.
There is a right of interment.
Right.
Now, so who owns the grave?
Well, it was purchased by my father-in-law
Right.
for himself and his wife.
Then it's likely that the control of the grave needs to be moved to an authorised person. Now, the authorised person is normally a family member or next of kin.
Yes, so that would be the two brothers.
No, it's got to be one person, as I understand it. It can't be multiples, right? So it's a question, and the logical person to have it, I would have thought, would be your mother-in-law, because she's the next one in, presumably, right?
She has dementia and is in care, so has no capacity.
She can't apply. So it's a question of somebody writing to the Cemetery Trust and saying, we'd like to nominate, or I'd like not to nominate X as the authorised person for the purpose of controlling the right of interment.
Right.
Now, that person is the person who's then able to determine what happens to the monument and the engraving.
Okay. We've been told that it's two people, the way that the will was left, and this plot was purchased prior to death.
Yes, but it was given that your father-in-law bought it, it had to have been bought prior to death. But what I would be suggesting is that what you're saying is that your father-in-law appointed two people to be his executor. The ownership of the right of interment is in the longer term separate from the role of executor. So you need to sort that one out, and that person is the one who negotiates with the Cemetery Trust for the tombstone.
Sarah, thank you very much for the call. It's 22 past 10. The number's 1300 222 774. Still time for calls with our talkback lawyer, David Whiting, for some non-binding legal advice and foresaid advice. Lachlan's on the phone from Geelong. Hello, Lachlan.
G'day, how you going?
Yeah, we're good, thank you.
Neighbour is doing a full renovation of a period home, was ready to pour the slab. The land had been surveyed. The people that poured the slab said, we can't pour it because the fence is 30 centimetres inside the neighbour's property, and therefore the fence has to be removed along with my shed that abuts the
How long has your fence been there, Lachlan?
I've been there 10 years. The fence has probably been there 15. So in other words, they want to...
Let's ask you a different question. How long has the shed been there?
Same amount of time.
Right. Then you've probably, and it's time critical, acquired rights by adverse possession to everything on your side of the fence. Now, what you need to do, but you've only got it for 10 years. You've got to go and talk to the people you bought it from and acquire their rights of adverse possession. See, the neighbour's right to enforce their rights of ownership to the land and therefore possession of the land are lost if someone else has 15 years' rights.
Okay,
now, you on your own
don't,
don't, so you've got to go and rush out and find the people you bought from.
Yeah. They have said they'll pay for the fence and the shed, but they'll take 30 centimetres. It's their land by boundary, I guess. But
no, it's their land on their title, but it's not their land as occupied by them. So what I want you to do is go and get the contract from the time you bought, see how long your neighbours were there, the people who lived in your house were there, and go and acquire their rights by adverse possession, and then you can have a different negotiation depending on what you want. You might want a new fence and compensation. I don't know, but that's where you need to start.
Lachlan, thanks for the call. Alex on the phone from Elstonwick. Hello, Alec.
Morning, David.
Morning.
Morning, long-time caller, listener, loving your program.
Thank you.
David, I'm calling about intrusive lighting over the fence. Standard suburban home and new neighbors, and they've got security lighting on a sensor, and wow, it comes on and we're lighting up the earth.
Yes.
And we're wondering about, do we have rights to ask them to turn it off, or is it a matter of good neighbourliness?
It's a question of in my mind, it's a question of the extent to which the lights are, let's call it necessary, and the extent to which they encroach into your property.
Yes.
There's no scale about what it is. And it might be that you might suggest to them that they mount the lights on the fence so they shine back at their house rather than at you.
Yes. They've got them shining, and they've got them shining. Basically, they light up our driveway just as well as they do theirs, and it shines in our windows and that sort of thing.
And that's the discussion that you have. You might have a claim for nuisance.
Okay.
In the same way as if I had a camera and lived next door to you and the main focus of my camera was your front door.
Yes.
So to me, it would be, why don't you wait till they turn on one night and invite them to come over and have a look?
Alec, thank you very much. In Mount Waverley. Claudia. Hello, Claudia.
Hello.
Hi.
I've got an issue. Our builders, our neighbours at the top of our property are building 2 units. The issue we've had is that we have a sewage pit or a stormwater pit that they had to upgrade because they're putting 2 units where there had to be 1.
Yes. And I take it that pit's on your property?
It is.
Is subject to an easement in favour of Yarra Valley Water, I guess?
Yes.
Yes.
But my issue is not that they needed access. My issue is that they just took down the fence.
Then it's up to them to put it back, Claudia.
And if they...
I mean, in theory, they can't take it down without your consent or a court order.
Okay, but they've already done that. And
Yes.
they have repaired that bit because we've made enough of a fuss, but they've also damaged the rest of the fence. And my main issue is that we've got dogs, and...
Then you have a claim against the owner for the repair work required to the fence.
That's presumably after the fence, after the building has been
No,
finished.
my view is it's an ongoing right to a proper fence, Claudia. You could commence the claim against... It's not against the... in theory, your claim is against the owner of the property next door, who will then have a go at the builder, but it's your owner next door who, by his servants or agents, has damaged your fence.
Okay, so we've got a right to have it secure.
Put back. Secure, yes, as it was.
Claudia, Claudia, thank you very much for that. We just have one last. We'll have one last quick call before the news, before we let you go. David, Tricia is in Tacoma. Hello, Tricia.
Hello, David.
Hi.
Hi. Look, I'm just ringing to ask about a question about stamp duty on the purchase of a property. 2 aged pensioners are buying a property as tenants in common in equal shares. Now, the property's over the limit for stamp duty if one person buys it. But do the 2 people, if they're buying it as tenants in common, have to pay stamp duty?
If the value of the property being purchased is over the tax-free threshold, yes, you do.
That's a bummer.
Okay. Thank you for being blunt and honest, Tricia.
Tricia, thank you very much. That's the way to wrap up some legal advice, isn't it? It's a total bummer. David, thank you,
Justin.
very much, and I'm glad to see you feeling better. We'll chat next week.
Done.